I woke up. My eyelids felt as if they were glued shut with super glue. It took all my strength to pry them open just a slit. The ceiling was a stark white, and a smell of antiseptic hung in the air. I was in a hospital. I moved my fingers. A sensation of control, both familiar and foreign, returned to my brain. It has been 3 years, and I have finally regained my body. At that moment, a line of semi-transparent light blue text floated before my eyes like a barrage. Wow, the female antagonist really woke up. Is the plot about to go off the rails? I blinked, thinking it was just a side effect of being in a coma for too long. A line of text floated out immediately after. Don't be afraid up ahead. The female lead has already captured the hearts of her family and childhood sweethearts. That female antagonist won't be able to bounce back. Female antagonist. Female lead. What the hell? My brain was like a rusty machine, creaking and groaning as it turned. Are you awake? A cold, emotionless electronic voice echoed in my mind. Welcome back to the real world. Host Jingji. It's that guy who calls himself the system. 3 years ago, to save my childhood sweetheart Gu Yanqing, I was struck by a runaway truck and became a vegetable. After my soul left my body, I was bound to this broken system, serving as its free labor for 3 years, just to earn this opportunity for resurrection. I hadn't had the chance to reply when new bullet comments started flying quickly across the screen. I feel sorry for my wife Fui. She must be bullied by that malevolent female supporting character. The person upstairs is overthinking it. Didn't you read the original text? After Jingji woke up, her parents and younger brother didn't rush to her side. They all went to celebrate Lu Fuyi's dance debut instead. Ha ha ha. The truth is revealed. After lying there for 3 years, in the eyes of her family, her status is even less important than a substitute's performance. How pathetic. And the supporting female character still looks better off. My heart feels as if someone is gripping it tightly with their hand. A sharp pain coursing through me. The nurse notified my family 6 hours ago. 6 hours. Even if they crawled from my home to the hospital, they should have arrived by now. It turns out they went to celebrate with Lu Fui, the adopted daughter who looks about 70 or 80% like me. Before leaving, the system's parting words, dripping with sarcasm, seemed to linger in my ears. The people you keep thinking about might not actually want you to come back. I didn't believe it at the time. Now, I believe it. Suddenly, a flurry of hurried and chaotic footsteps echoed outside the corridor, and the ward door was swung open forcefully. My mom rushed in front. Her eyes red, her expression a mix of excitement and a hint of something complex that I couldn't quite understand. Jie, my daughter, you finally woke up. She lunged at me, embracing me tightly, her shoulders shaking violently against me. Her suppressed sobs made my heart ache. My dad and my brother Jingheng followed behind, their expressions equally emotional. Just as I was about to say something, a girl in a white dress timidly peeked out from behind them. It was Lu Fui. My mother's crying suddenly stopped, and the arm that was holding me instantly relaxed. My younger brother, Jingheng, who had originally opened his arms to hug me, awkwardly withdrew them. Even my dad subconsciously cleared his throat and took half a step back, as if there was some invisible barrier between us. That comment floated out again. Look. As soon as the female lead appears, everyone changes their expression. Jingji is now a hot potato. I watched the 3 of them, their faces tense as if they were facing a formidable enemy. Then glanced at that delicate, tearful Lu Fuyumi heart, which had just begun to warm, instantly froze over. Fine. I understand. I raised my head, my gaze scanning each of them with a dazed expression, and then, in a tone that was hoarse and confused as if I had just woken up, I gently asked, "May I ask, who are you?" That's right. I pretended to have amnesia. No matter how lively the comments are, it can't compare to the satisfaction of tearing off this layer of warm, affectionate facade with my own hands. As soon as I said that, the air in the entire hospital room froze. My mother's tears streamed out again, this time filled with obvious panic. Jie, what's wrong? Don't you recognize mommy anymore? I am. Cough. My dad's heavy cough was like a command. Precisely interrupting my mom's words. He stepped forward, forcing a smile that looked worse than crying, his eyes darting around, unwilling to meet mine. Child, don't be afraid. He paused, as if making some significant decision, then said clearly, word by word. We are your uncle and aunt. With a loud bang, I felt like my world was collapsing. My dad, the chairman of the Jing group, the person I have feared the most since I was a child, was currently pointing at my mom and, in a tone as if introducing a stranger, said, "This is your aunt." Then he pointed to my brother and Lu Fu-yi. "This is your cousin and cousin sister." What the hell? Can it be played like this? My real dad just turned into an uncle. This operation is too outrageous. Ha ha ha. Let the female supporting character pretend to lose her bee. Now she's directly getting an orphan identity. Let's see what she uses to cause trouble in the future. Is this family too ruthless? For that substitute. They don't even want their own daughter. Stop being a saint upstairs. If it weren't for the fact that the female supporting character had acted so dramatically in the past, offending everyone, would they be this on guard against her? I ignored the arguments in the comments and focused my gaze intently on my brother. Jing Hang. Cousin, I asked him slowly, word by word. When Jing Hang was kidnapped as a child, it was I who jumped onto the human trafficker's vehicle without hesitation, accompanying him to be locked in a dark room. When we escaped, it was I who carried the exhausted him through the forest for a full 3 hours, blood streaming along the way. He lay in the hospital bed, crying and holding my hand, swearing to protect me for a lifetime. That younger brother who promised to protect me forever. At this moment, when facing Lu Fuyi's red, tear-filled eyes that seemed to bear a great injustice, swallowed hard, and with great difficulty, squeezed out a single word through his teeth. The heart that I had been holding on to finally died completely, shattered to the point that not even a fragment remained. I lowered my head, tugged my lips into a mocking curve, and softly asked the most cruel question. Then what about my mom and dad? Where are they? My father's facial muscles twitched for a moment, and after a full half-minute of silence, he spoke in a heavy tone. They passed away in a car accident when you were very little. Gig. Don't be sad. Although we are your uncle and aunt, we have always raised you as our own daughter. I really want to laugh out loud. Biological daughter. Right now. I would really prefer they were dead. The atmosphere in the ward was so awkward you could wring water from it. It was still Lu Fui who broke the silence. She stepped forward, wanting to take my hand, her voice soft and gentle, filled with kindness. Sister, you must not be sad. In the future, my dad and mom will be your dad and mom, and we will all take good care of you. I quickly withdrew my hand, avoiding her touch without a word. I'm sorry. I'm afraid of getting my hands dirty. How ungrateful. We, the kind-hearted ones at Fu-yi, are making an effort to be friendly, and she still puts on a sour face for whom? Exactly. If you ask me, we should just send her abroad to fend for herself, so she doesn't annoy us here and ruin our mood. Is this world upside down? Taking away other people's parents and families, and still expecting the ones who were robbed to welcome them with smiles. What kind of reasoning is that? If I were Jingji, I would slap her twice right now. This barrage of comments was like a flash of light, briefly illuminating my cold heart. I want to as well, but I just woke up, feeling completely drained. At that moment, a low and familiar voice echoed at the door of the ward, tinged with a hint of impatience. Fui, the celebration banquet is about to start. Why are you still here? It was Gu Yanqing. Gu Yanqing was standing there, backlit, dressed in a well-tailored designer suit, with that face capable of doubling the sales of financial magazines. But when I looked at him, he felt so foreign. Ah, the male lead has arrived. He's here to support the female lead. Right. I knew he loved our Fuyi the most. I bet 50 cents that Gu Yanqing has been eavesdropping at the door for ages, and hearing about the female supporting character's amnesia must have made him ecstatic. Absolutely. considering he likes the female lead now. If the female supporting character tries to play the moral card using her life-saving grace, that would give him a headache. I met his gaze and once again displayed my Oscar-worthy acting skills, tilting my head. I asked my dad with an innocent expression, "Uncle, who is this?" With that one sentence, all attention turned to Gu Yanqing. My dad's expression darkened even further. He cleared his throat and spoke up before anyone else, his tone as stiff as if he were reading a verdict. "Ji, this is your cousin's fiancé, Assistant Gu. You can just call him Assistant Gu." He didn't even dare to say Gu Yanqing's full name. I stared intensely at Gu Yanqing. Deep down in my heart, there's still a hint of a ridiculous, humble hope. I hope he denies it. I hope he can frown like before in front of my dad and say, "Uncle, what are you talking about? Jingji and I are a couple." But he didn't. He simply avoided my gaze without a hint, not even willing to give me a single glance. Lu Fui's hand still affectionately linked with his arm, and he did not push it away. He acquiesced. I lowered my head, my gaze landing on the grotesque scar on the back of my right hand. The glass shards were cut open during the accident. At that moment, I was completely on top of him, using my back and arms to shield him from most of the impact and debris. I exchanged 3 years of my youth and half of my life to keep him unscathed. And he spent those 3 years falling in love with another girl. I suddenly remembered a long time ago, back in high school, when a boy from the next class passed me a love letter. When Gu Yanqing found out, he ran off alone to drink away his sorrows, getting completely drunk, clutching at the hem of my clothes, his eyes red and crying as he pleaded with me. "Jingji, you must not like anyone else." Absolutely not. That young man, in the end, died. He died in that car accident 3 years ago, or perhaps even earlier. Gu Yanqing and Lu Fui didn't linger any longer. Hand in hand, like a match made in heaven, they turned and left the ward. My parents and my younger brother eagerly followed behind to see them off, as if that was their real family. In an instant, I was the only one left in the ward. I struggled, supporting myself on the edge of the bed, trying little by little to get down. My legs were as weak as noodles, but I gritted my teeth and inched my way to the door. The door wasn't closed tightly, leaving a gap. I heard their voices. It was my brother Jinghang, his voice tinged with a hint of anxiety. "Dad. Mom. Isn't it a bit too much to deceive sister like this?" Right after that, my mom's familiar voice, which I was all too accustomed to, chimed in with a tone meant to smooth things over. "This is also for Gigi's sake. Just think about it. If she were to find out that during her illness, we found someone so much like her to keep us company, how heartbroken she would be. And besides, this will help her temper a bit, so she won't bully Fui anymore. It's good for both of them." I leaned against the cold door, trembling all over. The deadliest blow came from my dad. His voice was low, yet it felt like a poisoned needle, piercing my heart with precision. "All right. Enough of that. What's most important now is figuring out how to get Jingji to transfer those shares left by her grandfather. When the time comes, we'll evenly distribute it among the 3 of you, so we, as parents, can rest easy." My tears finally couldn't be held back, pouring down in large drops. It turns out, they didn't just give their love to Lu Fui. They also had me in mind for the only talisman my grandfather left meth 15% shares of the Jing group. My goodness. I finally understand that this family doesn't not love the female supporting character. They love her and fear her at the same time. They value her love and dread her temper. The layout upstairs has shrunk. And what equal shares? Do you believe that once the shares are handed over, the old man will immediately give everything to the female protagonist? After all, she is his, treasured one. My heart, little by little, has turned into a lump of ice. The system is right. Here, no one wishes for my return. Just when I was in such despair that I wanted to jump straight off this building, a striking golden bullet screen abruptly appeared. "Jingji, don't listen to them. The villain has secretly been in love with you all along. Every day they pray and burn incense, hoping you'll wake up. Yes. 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 Supporting actress. You should go take a look at Li Yan. His room is covered with photos of you taken without your knowledge. At night, he calls your name in his dreams, waking up to sheets that are a disgrace to look at. As long as you give the villain a single glance, he becomes completely rigid. Who? Li Yan. That sworn enemy who fought me fiercely in business, eager to pick my bones clean. My mind buzzes. Li Yan. The name stabs at me like a poisoned dagger. One I can't seem to forget no matter how hard I try. The last project I discussed before I fell into unconsciousness was snatched from his hands. For that, I employed all means, even going so far as to set a trap that caused him heavy losses. He was on the phone at the time. His voice cold enough to freeze shards of ice. Jingji, you are quite something. I hope you never fall into my hands. He has a crush on me, and he loves me so obsessively. The comments sound like a fairy tale. But now, this fairy tale is my only lifeline. That night, while my brother Jinghang went to fetch hot water, I pulled out the 4 from my hand, changed into a white coat I had stolen from the nurse's station, and stumbled out of the hospital. The night wind was chilly, cutting against my face like a knife. I stood by the roadside and flagged down a taxi. Driver, take me to the Li Group building. The driver glanced at me through the rearview mirror, his gaze strange, but he still started the car. The Li Group has developed tremendously in recent years, already surpassing my family's Jing clan and Gu Yanqing's Gu clan. That skyscraper standing in the city center, like a sharp sword piercing the clouds, is the empire of Li Yan. I don't know if he will see me. I didn't even know if he would just call someone to throw me out. But I had nowhere to go. I could only take a gamble. I waited like a lost soul at the entrance of the Li's building for almost an hour. My lips turning purple with the cold, my whole body shaking. At last, a black Rolls-Royce, like a silent beast, glided silently to the front of the building. The car door opened, and a tall, upright figure emerged from the back seat. He wore a sharply tailored black suit, and the eyes behind his gold-rimmed glasses were astonishingly sharp in the night. Several bodyguards in black surrounded him, their presence so powerful that it made the air around them feel thin. It's him, Li Yan. Li Yan. I almost instinctively shouted his name, then used all my strength to run towards him. Sure enough, I was stopped by the bodyguard in front of him as if I were a little chick being picked up. Li Yan's gaze was like a cold blade, landing on me. He first frowned, and then, in those beautiful eyes, an unreserved and intense disgust surfaced. Lu Fui. His thin lips parted slightly, his voice colder than the winter night's wind by 3 degrees. I remember I warned you not to dress like her and appear before me. You think that by wearing a white coat, you can mimic the elegance she had back then. He stepped forward, looking down at me, each word like it was laced with venom. Remember, no matter how much you resemble her, you are not her. You only make me feel disgusting. As soon as the man finished speaking, I summoned every last ounce of strength and slipped out from the bodyguard's grasp, wrapping my arms tightly around his lean waist from behind. I buried my face in his broad back that carried a faint scent of cedar, trembling as I called out those words that could change the course of my life in a voice that felt foreign to me, broken and sticky. Honey, I miss you so much. The moment I called out hubby, Li Yan's entire back tensed up. It was a reaction where the muscles tightened to the extreme in an instant, like a ferocious beast suddenly touched in its most sensitive spot. The air around us seemed to come to a standstill. He slowly turned around. Inch by inch, on that handsome face which had been frozen for years, cracks appeared for the first time. He looked down at me, his eyes behind the gold-rimmed glasses shifting from initial shock to disbelief, and then to an intense, tumultuous emotion that I couldn't comprehend. Thorn. His voice was no longer the icy tone from before, but rather carried a barely perceptible tremor. Holy crap. Holy crap. Holy crap. The female antagonist's move is too brilliant. It's a direct strike at the root. Li Yan. Who am I? Where am I? My wife is calling me husband. Don't get too excited upstairs. Look at the villain's expression. He clearly doesn't believe it. Don't forget. Those two are sworn enemies. Jingji has betrayed him more than once. At this moment, Li Yan's assistant Qin Yu quickly stepped forward, leaned in close to his ear, and rapidly reported in a voice only the three of us could hear. Mr. Li, the hospital just informed us that Miss Jing woke up this morning and publicly claimed she has amnesia. Li Yan's expression softened a bit, but the look in his eyes as he glanced at me remained filled with scrutiny and complexity. My heart skipped a beat, knowing it was a critical moment to act. You must go all out. I lifted my head, tears welling in my eyes as I looked at him with a pitiful expression. Continuing my performance. Hubby, why didn't you come to the hospital to pick me up? I've been waiting for such a long time. They were all bullying me, so I had no choice but to come out and find you. As I said this, I also had to push further, rubbing against him in his embrace, like a wronged little cat eager for comfort. I could clearly feel that Li Yan's body tightened even more the moment I got closer to him. His Adam's apple rolled up and down. Assistant Qin Yu clearly couldn't stand it any longer, with an expression that screamed, "Boss, you must stay alert." He urgently spoke up. Mr. Li, you can't fall for her tricks. Have you forgotten all the underhanded tactics she used before to compete with us for projects? This time, it's likely another act with the Jing family, trying to extract some benefits from us. No. Big brother, is it really appropriate to say these things in front of me? I was just wondering how to refute him when Li Yan merely cast a disdainful glance at him. Do you think I'm as stupid as you? Chen Yu immediately breathed a sigh of relief, thinking that his boss had finally regained his sanity. But in the next moment, Li Yan lowered his head and, with a voice that was almost bewitching and low, asked me in my ear, "What did you just call me? Say it again." I stared at him in a daze and, almost instinctively, softly called out once more, "Old man." As soon as the words left my mouth, I felt my legs lighten, and my whole body was lifted into the air. Li Yan actually picked me up horizontally. My head rested against his iron-hard chest, where I could hear the steady, powerful beat of his heart, thump after thump, like a drum. He ignored the astonished expressions of everyone around us, holding me close and speaking to me in a tone that declared ownership. "Be good. Hubby will take you home." The world was silent. I only heard the sound of Assistant Qin Yu's heart breaking. Ha ha ha. Fishing. You can fish for anything. Jingji didn't do anything, yet the villain has already been hooked. Why do I feel like this villain has a bit of a Yandra vibe? You know, the type that, after being slapped by the female lead, can blush and say sister's hand is so fragrant. Jingji, breathe. Li Yan, she's enticing me. Quite skilled. The door to the president's office was pulled shut by Li Yan's foot, and then with a click, it was locked, cutting off all outside sights and sounds. I was just about to say something when he directly tossed me onto the large leather sofa. The sofa was very soft, but I was still a bit dazed from the throw. In the next second, a tall figure pressed down, trapping me firmly between his arms. The crisp scent of cedar mixed with a hint of tobacco enveloped me completely. I felt a bit flustered and reached out to push against his solid chest. "Honey, I'm a bit tired. I want to rest." Before I could finish my sentence, he interrupted me with a disdainful laugh. "Jingji." He grasped my chin, forcing me to meet his gaze. The warmth that had lingered a moment ago was gone from those eyes, now devoid of glasses, replaced by a sharpness and mockery that seemed to see right through everything. "Have you had your fill of acting? Do you really think I'm a fool? That I'll be tricked by you every time?" He leaned down, his nose almost touching mine, his hot breath spraying onto my face. "Speak up. What's it this time? Is it the chip collaboration we've been discussing at our company? Or that piece of land in the southern part of the city? I told you, villains aren't that easy to deceive. Here comes the reckoning. Exciting. Hurry. Jingji, kiss him. Do you believe that if you give him a peck, this guy will immediately lose his ability to think, and he'll jump into the sea of fire in front of him? Upstairs 1. Go for it. Don't be a coward. The barrage of comments struck me like a bolt of lightning. We've come this far. If I don't take a big gamble, how can I justify the effort I put into my performance tonight? I took a deep breath, reached out and forcefully grabbed his tie, pulling his head down, then shut my eyes and kissed him recklessly. My lips met his. At first, it was icy. Then it quickly warmed up. Li Yan froze completely, his pupils filled with shock akin to an earthquake. I took a leap of faith, steeling my courage, and gently licked his lips with the tip of my tongue. In that instant, I could distinctly feel him tremble all over. That cord called rationality finally snapped. He let out a low growl, one hand gripping the back of my head, the other tightly holding my wrist, lifting my arms above my head, turning the tables. He kissed me back with an almost frenzied, predatory intensity. Jingji, you provoked me first. His kiss was deep and fierce, bursting forth after a long period of repression, as if he were pouring out all the longing and resentment of the past 3 years. I was kissed breathless, my mind blanking out, consciousness gradually fading. My tongue tingled, and my legs went weak. I felt like I was about to melt in his scorching breath. At that moment, a piercing ringtone cut through the air, like a bucket of cold water, pulling us back from the brink of losing control. It was my phone. Out of the corner of my eye, I caught a glimpse of the caller. It was Gu Yanqing. I then realized that, at some point, several buttons of Li Yan's shirt had been undone, revealing his well-defined abdominal muscles, and my hand was perfectly placed on his abs. Li Yan was breathing heavily, yet he didn't let me go. Instead, he held onto my lips and commanded in an extremely hoarse voice, "Take it." I felt as if I was bewitched. Against my better judgment, I really pressed the answer key. On the other end of the line, Gu Yanqing's furious roar immediately came through. "Jingji, who gave you permission to sneak out of the hospital? Do you have any idea how worried everyone is about you?" Holy crap. Iconic scene. The villain and the female supporting character are locked in a passionate kiss, while the male lead, knowing the female character is missing, is nearly going insane looking for her. Strange. Isn't Gu Yanqing supposed to not care about Jingji? Why does he sound more anxious than anyone else now that the female lead is missing? Probably guilt. After all, she was driven away by him. If something really happens, he'll have to live in the shadow of it for the rest of his life. Where are you right now? I'm coming to pick you up. Gu Yanqing's voice was still roaring on the phone. On my side, I was panting as I exchanged breaths with Li Yan. The atmosphere had reached an ambiguous peak. Li Yan suddenly let out a light laugh. He turned and had me sit on his lap, then leisurely took off the Patek Philippe watch from his wrist and tossed it aside. He leaned close to my ear and whispered in a volume only we could hear, "Tell him you're with me." On the other end of the line, Gu Yanqing seemed to sense something was off. His voice instantly turned cold. "Jingji, who are you with? Why do I hear a man's voice?" Revenge. This is definitely blatant revenge. God knows how many years Li Yan, this secret admirer, has been jealous of Gu Yanqing. My goodness. Where is Li Yan's hand going? Is this something we can watch for free? I felt a scorching big hand slowly moving up along my waistline. I shivered all over, instinctively wanting to stop him. Li Yan, wait a moment. Before I could finish my words, I felt darkness envelop me, and I completely lost consciousness. When I woke up, I was already lying in the resting room of Li Yan's office. On that big bed, several doctors surrounded the bedside, and the one leading them, with graying hair, was reporting my condition to Li Yan. It was nothing more than just waking up with a weak body and then being hit by a cold breeze, causing me to faint out of emotional excitement. Li Yan had been frowning tightly. Upon seeing me wake up, he immediately walked over and reached out to check my forehead. Only after confirming that my fever had gone down did he finally let out a sigh of relief. Assistant Chen Yu was quietly watching all of this from behind, his expression resembling that of someone watching their cherished cabbage being trampled by a pig. Utterly devoid of affection for life, Li Yan ordered the doctors to leave. Before leaving, the leading old doctor looked at my swollen and disfigured lips, hesitated for a long while, and finally couldn't help but speak, earnestly saying to Li Yan, "Miss Jing is still very weak. President Li, some things are better handled gently, rather than too intensely." My face turned so red it felt like it could fry an egg. I really want to find a crack in the ground and burrow in. In contrast, Li Yan remained completely composed, even nodding slightly, his tone calm and unruffled. Understood. As if this were the most ordinary thing in the world. Truly, a person who accomplishes great things is indeed unconcerned with trivial matters. Because it was too late, Li Yan sent all the staff home and personally carried me out of the company from the lounge. It wasn't until the car started that I belatedly asked him about Gu Yanqing's call later. Li Yan chuckled lightly, looking in a good mood. He said that at that moment. He picked up the phone and told the other side. I fell asleep. It was silent over there for a long, long time. In the end, there was only the sound of a clap. Gu Yanqing threw down his new phone as well. The car finally stopped outside a villa halfway up the mountain. "How did you bring me here?" I asked cautiously. Li Yan narrowed his eyes slightly and said confidently, "You're my wife. So where else would you stay but my home?" I was left momentarily speechless. "Fine. Since I have no place to go right now, staying here is certainly better than sleeping on the street." As soon as we entered the villa with Li Yan, a capable-looking butler immediately came to greet us. "Sir, you're back." The butler was taken aback when he saw me, but his eyes quickly brightened as he respectfully bowed to me, saying, "Miss Jing, hello." Before I had the chance to wonder how he knew me, Li Yan spoke up first and corrected him. "Not Miss Jing." "Yes, madam." My head buzzed, and I was dazed. This guy. I pretended to have amnesia. Could it be that he also forgot everything? Always referring to me as madam. Isn't your face thicker than a city wall? What's even more infuriating is that my current persona is his amnesiac little wife, making it impossible for me to refute it. Uncle Joe, the butler, saw that I didn't deny it, and his smile deepened, his attitude becoming even more respectful. "Yes, yes, yes. What the sir says is true. Good evening, madam." I could only nod stiffly. Ha ha ha. It's no wonder Gu Yanqing wants to smash her phone. It's all because Li Yan is fighting so hard, leaving no breathing room for her rival at all. "Jingji, don't be angry. Just look at the villain's strong waist and perky backside. You won't lose out. Good days are still ahead." Upstairs. Why does your black text look yellower the more I look at it? Is this a barrage area or a no man's land? Doesn't anyone online care about you? I was left with goosebumps from the harsh barrage of words and quickly followed Li Yan up to the second floor. Uncle Joe followed closely behind, respectfully asking, "Sir, the ladies' room." My heart tightened. Li Yan pointed to the guest room next to the master bedroom, which had the best lighting. "Let's stay in this room." Only then did I let out a sigh of relief. Fortunately, this guy isn't too excessive and knows how to take things step by step. Of course, the villain's room is filled with photos of the female supporting character. How could he dare to let her in right now? Once inside, she probably won't come out for 3 days and 3 nights. He once even stole the female supporting character's coat and would hug it and sniff it whenever he had the chance. This kind of twisted yet affectionate setup really hits my XP. I dared not look again. If I did, I feared I would be unable to resist prying open Li Yan's door. I hurriedly retreated to my room and shut the door. In the following days, I recuperated at Li Yan's villa. He accompanied me every day, ate with me, supervised my medication, and even moved his work into my room. When Assistant Chen Yu came to report on his work, he always seemed to be on guard against me, but Li Yan encouraged him to speak candidly, leaving even the company's most confidential business decisions unguarded. Chen Yu's face wore the constant expressions of regretting the iron that doesn't become steel and a love-struck brain with no hope. Even I couldn't help but wonder if Li Yan was a bit too trusting of me. This morning, Li Yan went to the company before dawn for a multinational conference. My body had also recovered somewhat. And just as I was about to go downstairs for breakfast, I saw Uncle Joe fiddling with something in the kitchen. Uncle Joe, what are you busy with? I asked curiously. Uncle Joe immediately turned around, looking surprised as though he had just noticed me. Oh, madam, you're up. It's nothing. I was just thinking that next month is Sir's birthday, so I'm trying to learn how to fry a steak to cook for him then. Next month. It's only the beginning of the month. This reminder is a bit too deliberate, isn't it? If Uncle Joe is still somewhat subtle, the others in the villa are just being outright blunt. The maid mopping the floor saw me and said, "Good morning, ma'am. Sir's birthday is next month. And I'm thinking of cleaning the floor a bit more thoroughly." The gardener trimming the flowers saw me and said, "Hello, ma'am. Sir's birthday is next month. And I'm planning to make the garden look even more beautiful." "No. Who asked you?" Laughing so hard. "They just need to install a loudspeaker by Jingji's ear, playing on a loop 24 hours a day. My husband's birthday is coming up. Ma'am, you mustn't forget to prepare a gift. Who understands?" The male and female leads are constantly arguing because the male lead has been preoccupied with the female supporting character lately. Meanwhile, the antagonist female supporting character is so sweet it's almost unbearable. This contrast is simply delightful. Sweet. It must be sweet. What's wrong with Jingji preparing gifts? Has there ever been a birthday when Li Yan didn't give a gift? Each of those gifts is worth a fortune. Yet she, on the other hand, either tossed them aside or donated them without even taking a glance. It was only when the bullet screen reminded me that I remembered. It seems that is indeed the case. Every time it was my birthday in the past, even though Li Yan wasn't invited, he never failed to send a gift. I always thought that was his provocation and show-off, so I dealt with it ruthlessly. Now that I think about it, he has helped me so much, and I really was quite unfair to him. It's only right to send him a birthday gift. With that thought in mind, I immediately got up and had the driver take me to the largest mall in the city center. Although I've been lying down for the past 3 years, the dividends from my shares and the returns on my previous investments have been arriving on my card on time. A few days ago, I checked the numbers inside. It's enough for me to lie flat for the rest of my life. I entered a top-notch luxury store and immediately set my eyes on a men's watch, limited to only 20 pieces worldwide. Its design is understated yet luxurious, perfectly matching Li Yan's temperament. Just as I asked the clerk to wrap it up for me, a sticky and soft voice suddenly rang in my ear. "Brother Yanqing, these days have been troublesome for you. Please don't be upset. Your birthday is coming soon, and I, Fui, want to give you your favorite birthday gift as an apology. How about that?" As soon as I turned around, I saw that face that made me feel physically uncomfortable. Lu Fui. Beside her were Gu Yanqing, Anne, my uncle and aunt and cousin. What bad luck. What the hell? A battlefield. How could this happen? The female supporting character isn't going to see the male lead again, is she? Is she about to have a romance brain meltdown and start competing? It finally got a bit interesting. If that happens, I might just give up on this story. Who knows? After all, in the original story, the female supporting character spent her entire life competing with the female lead for men. Before I could say anything, Gu Yanqing's eyes sparkled first. His eyes, which had been somewhat elusive, suddenly found their focus the moment they landed on me, staring intently. My mom, oh no, my aunt, immediately rushed over, grabbing my hand with a face full of joy and worry as if she had found something she thought was lost. "Jie, where have you been all this time? We were so worried about you." My brother Jing Hang chimed in as well. "Yeah, sis. You have no idea how worried mom and dad were about you." I sneered coldly in my heart. "Are you worried about me? Worried enough that you haven't even given me a call?" Seeing my expression was off, my dad cleared his throat a couple of times, taking on the demeanor of an elder. "Jie, this is your fault. You ran off without saying a word." And you don't even know how long your uncle and aunt have been looking for you. He changed the subject, finally revealing his true intentions. By the way, those shares that your uncle asked you to hold on to temporarily before you fell unconscious should probably be returned to us now. Right. The truth was laid bare. I scoffed, meeting his greedy gaze, and pronounced each word distinctly. Why should I give you the shares that my grandfather personally gave to me? As soon as the words left my mouth, the expressions of those present instantly changed. Lu Fui's voice even trembled slightly. You regained your memory. Or have you been faking all that before? I lifted my chin, my gaze like a knife, slicing across the faces of each of them. If I don't pretend, how can I tell whether the one sleeping next to me is a person or a dog? That one sentence made all their faces alternate between green and pale. My dad was so angry his fingers trembled, looking like he couldn't bear to see me fail. Jingji, how did you become like this? Oh. Turning the tables. When reasoning fails, you start to label me. My brother Jing Hang even pointed directly at my nose and accused. Sister, you're being so willful. Is it really necessary to be this petty? We just played a little prank on you. The more he spoke, the more agitated he became, as if I were the despicable sinner in this situation. You've had everything since you were little, which is why you've become so willful. What's wrong with sharing a bit with Sister Fui and me? You have no idea how hard Sister Fui's life used to be. That's right. Jiaji, dear. My mom joined in. Both you and Fui are my daughters. So just listen to your dad and bring out the shares. I was almost driven to laughter by the shamelessness of these people. My eyes suddenly felt warm. This is the family I once risked my life to protect. At that moment, the clerk wrapped up the watch I had ordered and handed it over to me. Gu Yanqing's expression suddenly relaxed upon seeing the exquisite gift box, as if he had suddenly understood something. He gave a self-satisfied smile. Turns out, you came to buy me a birthday gift. It was then that I remembered. His and Li Yan's birthdays were actually on the same day. What a damn coincidence. You'll apologize to Fui now, Gu Yanqing said in a condescending tone. I can pretend that what just happened never occurred, and let you attend my birthday banquet. He paused for a moment and added, with a hint of threat, if not, don't expect to see me again. I couldn't help but laugh. Suddenly, I felt that arguing with them lowered my own standards. I took the gift box and turned to leave, leaving them with a resolute back. Gu Yanqing, the most regrettable decision I've made in this life is saving you. Jingji, what do you mean by that? Gu Yanqing chased after me, trying to grab my wrist. Before his hand could touch me, it was intercepted midair by another, stronger, more knotted hand. Ah! Gu Yanqing let out a terrible scream as his wrist was twisted at a strange angle, and his face turned pale with pain. A tall figure enveloped me in his arms, the familiar scent of cedar instantly calming me. Li Yan has arrived. He didn't even spare Gu Yanqing a glance, merely sweeping over him with the corner of his eye, the gaze sharp enough to kill. CEO Gu. He spoke with his thin lips slightly parted, his voice icy enough to cause shards to drop. What do you want to do to my fiancé? Fiancé. Gu Yanqing seemed to have heard some enormous joke, shaking off Li Yan's hand and looking at me in disbelief. When did Jingji become your fiancé? She is clearly mine. As he spoke halfway, his voice got stuck. He turned to glance at Lu Fui, who was still teary and looking pitiful beside him, and his expression suddenly transformed into something utterly remarkable. Li Yan didn't give him any time to react at all. He lowered his head and looked at me with the most indulgent gaze in the world, his voice soft enough to drip with tenderness. Why didn't you tell me you were coming out? I could have come to get you. I instantly understood, reached out to wrap my arms around his waist, leaned my head on his chest, and said in the sweetest voice, your birthday is coming up. I just wanted to give you a surprise. Our affectionate appearance was like a sharp sword, directly piercing through Gu Yanqing's heart. His face was darker than the bottom of a pot. At this moment, my dad also realized what was happening. immediately putting on a flattering grin as he walked towards Li Yan, extending his hand. "Ah, it's President Li. With Gigi spending these days with you, we can rest assured. I am Gigi's father and also the general manager of the Jing Corporation." Li Yan didn't even spare him a glance. As if he hadn't noticed the hand suspended in midair, he simply lowered his head and asked me, "Have you bought it?" I obediently nodded. "Then let's go." He then held me close, walking away amidst the jealous, shocked, and resentful gazes of the crowd. Back in the car, I immediately pushed him away and angrily questioned, "When did you find out that I was pretending to have amnesia?" Li Yan looked at me and suddenly laughed. "From the very beginning, I knew. So you've been teasing me all along, and making me call you husband every day." I was so angry that I reached out and hit his chest several times. He didn't dodge at all, just smiled and let me hit him, his eyes full of indulgence. "Sis, stop rewarding him. He's almost dying of happiness in his heart. Jingji, don't stop. Remember to stomp on his abs with high heels when you get home." He must be feeling even more uncomfortable. Seeing these comments, my face turned red, and I couldn't continue. I could only turn my head away and ignore him. The car was quiet for a moment. Li Yan suddenly spoke up, his tone lacking the teasing from before, carrying a subtle hint of tension and seriousness. "So, Miss Jing, now, do you really not like Gu Yanqing at all? Or are you just using me to get back at him?" I still didn't look at him, the streets outside the car window rapidly receding. After a while, I finally mumbled out a sentence through my nose. "I haven't liked it for a long time." It seemed like the man let out a low laugh. Suddenly, a pair of large hands cupped my cheeks and forcibly turned my face around. What caught my eye was Li Yan's enlarged, stunningly handsome face, with our noses almost touching, breaths intertwining. His gaze was focused and fervent, as if the entire world could see only me. In that moment, I heard my heart thunder with every beat. "System, are you there? Why do I feel my heart racing faster? I hope I'm not still unwell." I called out in a panic in my mind, but no matter how much I called, that sharp-tongued system did not reply to me again. Only a line of golden bullet comments slowly drifted past my eyes. "Oh, the peacock brother has finally spread his tail." Immediately, Li Yan's magnetic and captivating voice resonated in my ear. "From now on, Miss Jing, would you like to have feelings for me?" I admit, at that moment, my heart fluttered. It's over. It's over. Female supporting character. You're done for. You're about to fall in love. Your system has blocked you and rejected the dog food you've tried to feed it. I ignored the teasing comments in the barrage and didn't respond to Li Yan's question. I simply turned back quietly, looking out the window, but he seemed unfazed. And the smile at the corner of his mouth grew even deeper. In the days that followed, I still lived with the Li family, but I was no longer the canary sitting idle, waiting for my fate. I began to use Li Yan's connections to investigate some matters. Since my dear father and his illegitimate daughter were so eager to get their hands on the shares I held, I naturally wouldn't let them succeed easily. I should have a few trump cards in hand that could turn the tables. In the blink of an eye, it was the shared birthday of Li Yan and Gu Yanqing. On this day, the butler and the servants had long taken leave and left. In the vast villa, there were only Li Yan and me. I presented him with the carefully selected watch and clumsily made him a bowl of longevity noodles, which were nearly clumped together. Yet Li Yan was like a child who had received a beloved toy, eating every last bit, even finishing the soup. He seemed very happy, having drunk a lot of alcohol, and by the end, he was somewhat drunk, looking at me with dazed eyes, and my phone had been buzzing continuously since 8 o'clock that evening. Without looking, I already knew it was Gu Yanqing. I unlocked the screen, and it was filled with messages from him, each one more cutting than the last. "Why aren't you answering my calls? Are you still living at the Li family house? Jingji, I only tricked you once. Do you really need to make such a scene? Fui is much more understanding. He never makes unreasonable demands of me. Or are you trying to make me jealous through Li Yan? Let me tell you. That tactic won't work on me. This is your last chance. If you don't show up at my birthday party within 10 minutes, we're done for good. Looking at this information, I felt no waves in my heart, and found it somewhat amusing. I was just about to block and delete all his contact information when a big hand suddenly reached over from behind and snatched my phone away. As I turned around, I was picked up directly by the drunken Li Yan and sat on the kitchen island. He squinted at the content on the screen for a moment, then casually tossed my phone into the nearby sink. With a whoosh, the world went quiet. He supported himself on both sides of me, encircling me in his territory, his cheeks slightly flushed, looking at me with a hint of sulkiness, like a child who has failed to vie for their parents' favor. Choose him, or choose me. The ringtone rang out of turn again. It was his phone. The caller ID displayed Gu Yanqing again. Li Yan's gaze instantly turned cold, and he tightened his grip on my hand. Seeing him like this, I suddenly felt a pang of heartache. The dignified president of the Li Group. What woman could he not have? Yet he has secretly liked me for so many years. Cautiously, caught between hope and fear of loss, I leaned in and lightly kissed him on the cheek. I choose you. The man's deep-set eyes suddenly lit up. Like stars ignited, he abruptly reached out to embrace me, burying his head in the crook of my neck, taking several deep breaths of my scent. Not enough. What? Just a kiss on the cheek. That's not enough. Having said that, he suddenly grabbed my chin and kissed me fiercely. This kiss was no longer the previous plundering and madness, but rather infused with a touch of post-drunken tenderness and lingering affection, yet still so dominating that it left no room for refusal. My gosh, the villain is so good at kissing. I feel a little weak in the knees. My mom asked me why I was laughing so lewdly. I didn't even dare to let her know what I was watching. By the time I reacted, the man had already picked me up around the waist and was walking up the stairs step by step into his room. As soon as I walked in, I was stunned. The wall is really covered with my photos. There's one of me in high school, cheering on the sidelines of the basketball court in my uniform. Another of me during college, full of spirit at a debate competition. And then there's the one of me entering a shopping mall, dressed in my professional attire and moving with purpose. Each one is me, and each one is full of vitality. What's going on? Why did it go black as soon as I entered the room? As expected, the platform didn't let me down. Even as a member, it still won't let me watch. I've gotten used to it. Woo woo woo. Villain, you must not spare the female supporting role. Even without me, you all should love her fiercely. The man placed me onto that soft big bed, his voice hoarse as if filled with sand, carrying a deadly allure. Gig, is it okay? A scorching breath rushed toward me, and amidst the chaos of my consciousness, I felt as if I had nodded. Following that, the man's assault grew even more ferocious. Gig, I feel awful. Help me. When I woke up the next day, I felt as if all the bones in my body had been disassembled and reassembled. In contrast, Li Yan appeared invigorated and satisfied. I really don't know where this man finds all that energy all day long. After Li Yan left, I picked up his phone and saw a message from Gu Yanqing sent at midnight. Li Yan, you won. But just wait. I will definitely make Jingji regret it. I didn't know what he would do that would make me regret it. But soon, I learned from assistant Chen Yu, Gu Yanqing and Lu Fui were preparing to officially announce their engagement at the upcoming product launch of the Jing Group. Li Yan glanced at me, his eyes questioning. Are you going? I raised an eyebrow, a cold smile tugging at the corners of my mouth. Go. Why not? Just in time. I also have a big gift to present to them. On the day of the press conference, Li Yan and I dressed to the nines. The moment my dad saw me, his face darkened immediately. Jingji, who allowed you to come here? We didn't send you an invitation. Get out of here right now. I adjusted the hem of my dress and walked gracefully in front of him, smiling like a fairy. Perhaps Mr. Jing has forgotten that I am the largest individual shareholder of Jing Corporation. Aside from you, even without an invitation, I have the right to attend the launch event of my own company, don't I? When Gu Yanqing saw me, a fleeting hint of joy crossed his face, but he quickly returned to his usual indifferent, lifeless expression. Jingji, even if you kneel down and beg me right now, I won't change my mind. I could hardly hold back my laughter. Where did this man's confidence come from? Is it from Liang Jingru? I simply ignored that group of clowns, directly linking my arm with Li Yan's, and walked into the venue. Of course, I didn't miss the triumphant, provocative smile that Lu Fui flashed at me as we brushed past each other. The press conference began, and my dad took the stage with his future son-in-law and daughter, proudly announcing their engagement to the applause of all the guests who were oblivious to the truth. I sat in the audience, calmly watching it all unfold, as if I were witnessing a farcical play that had nothing to do with me. When the actual product launch segment started, the real drama was finally set to unfold. My dad stepped onto the stage, ready to passionately introduce the new product that had taken them 2 years to develop. Suddenly, the large screen behind him lit up. The audience erupted in a commotion and gasps. My dad turned around sharply. On the screen, it was not a product launch PPT at all. It was a comprehensive chain of evidence of his infidelities over the past 20 years. From chat records to transaction records, and even intimate photos of him with his mistress, who happened to be Lu Fui's mother. It was all there. It turned out that Lu Fui was not an adopted orphan at all. She is my dad's illegitimate daughter. This astonishing revelation stunned everyone present. My mom and my younger brother Jing Heng's faces instantly turned pale. The content plays to the end, and it is a recording. It's a conversation between Lu Fui and my dad. Dad, do mom and that idiot brother still think we are the good guys? How ridiculous. We say a few words, and they don't even recognize their own daughter or sister. Haha, isn't that because they are stupid? They deserve to be played around by us. Hearing this, my mom gasped and fainted, rolling her eyes back. Jing Heng hurriedly supported her, but his ashen face and eyes that seemed ready to burst into flames already said it all. Just then, I slowly walked up to the stage and took the microphone. Ladies and gentlemen, I apologize, but today's press conference is cancelled. In addition, Mr. Jing Weiguang, the general manager of Jing's company, and his daughter, Miss Lu Fui, are suspected of embezzling a large amount of company funds. We have already reported this to the police. As soon as the words were spoken, the door to the conference hall was pushed open, and several uniformed police officers entered, directly apprehending the still-dazed Jing Weiguang and Lu Fui. Lu Fui was desperately tugging at Gu Yanqing, hoping that he could save her, but Gu Yanqing disdainfully shook her off, as if discarding something dirty. I stepped off the stage and realized Li Yan was gone. Just as I was about to search for him, I was called back by Jing Heng behind me. Sis. His voice was hoarse, filled with the trace of tears. I'm sorry. We were deceived by that shameless woman. Can you forgive me and Mom? I turned back, glaring coldly at him. Are you really fooled by her? Or are you afraid that when I wake up, I will compete with you for the company? With that one sentence, Jing Heng's face paled even further. I told him that I would sell all my shares in the Jing Corporation and leave the rest of the family assets, including the villa we currently live in, to them as my final gift for my mother's retirement. From then on, we cut off all ties and had nothing more to do with each other. After saying that, I stopped paying attention to the cries and pleas behind me and turned to find Li Yan. I don't know why, but now, I really want to hug him. I finally saw his figure at the corner of the corridor. He was standing with his assistant, Chen Yu, with his back to me, a cigarette pinched between his fingers. I heard Chen Yu's excited voice. President Li, the Jing family has finally collapsed. Now, all we need to do is find a way to take the shares in Jingji's hands, and the entire project will be ours completely. Li Yan took a puff of his cigarette and slowly released a ring of smoke, his voice calm and steady. Don't rush. Jingji is still not completely letting down her guard around me. Just wait a little longer. I felt as if struck by lightning. taking a step back in disbelief. Everything around me grew increasingly blurred, as if shrouded in thick fog. That cold, long-absent system sound echoed in my mind once again. Now do you understand? No one will genuinely be good to you. Men are all just big pigs. Only I will not abandon you. Come with me, Jingji. Let's be together every day like we used to. Gradually, I saw my body becoming transparent, bit by bit. Just a second before I was about to completely disappear, I suddenly curled the corners of my mouth. Little broken thing. You really underestimate me too much, I softly said to the void. I want to live. Never for anyone. The value of my existence does not depend on anyone's love. So, no matter how many times you make me choose, I will choose to live, even if no one loves me in this world. At least I will always love myself. My life is still wonderful. As soon as the words fell, the dense fog around us instantly dissipated. Our vision became clear once again. The first thing I saw was not an illusion, but Li Yan. He was rushing towards me with eyes full of fear. Recklessly, and on that usually calm face was an unprecedented, extreme panic and terror. It was clear that he saw me slowly becoming transparent just now. He held me tightly, so tightly in his arms, as if he wanted to meld me into his very bones and blood. I lost. The system's voice carried a hint of defeat. The scenes just now were an illusion I created on purpose to deceive you. This man, he truly, truly loves you. After speaking, the system's voice completely vanished. I looked up at the man holding me, his body still trembling slightly, and found his eyes were red-rimmed. I stood on my tiptoes and gently kissed his eyes, tasting a hint of saltiness. Li Yan. I looked at him, speaking one word at a time. Seriously, I don't think I've told you yet. I've already grown to really like you. Very much.